Hello, my name is Teresa Osredker. I'm a graduate student at Georgetown University. Last summer I was a Kansas housewife. I didn't tweeter, twit, or otherwise chirp in any way. I didn't book my space, face my friends, import-export data files, PDF, GIF, JPEG, Excel, digitize, download, or upload. What I did do was laundry. But this summer, Dr. Alimi is bringing me into the current century. And this presentation is an attempt to show the skills I'm learning in his class. Let me share with you some fun little facts about my great home state in the Heartland, Kansas. People think life in Kansas is restrictive. It's true that we once had an attorney general who got on airplanes and began arresting people for drinking over Kansas's dry counties. And perhaps we've had some bad publicity because of the positions some local school boards have taken on teaching evolution. And I have to admit that it's true that there are still some strange laws on the books. For instance, if you're in Wichita and you're at the major intersection of Douglas and Broadway, you're required to get out of your car and fire 3 shotgun rounds into the air. I'm not sure what a bean snapper is, but if you're caught using or carrying one in Wichita, you'll be fined. In Kansas, if 2 trains meet on the same track, by law, neither one shall proceed until the other has passed. You may not use mules to hunt ducks. Musical car horns are banned in Russell. All cars entering the Lawrence city limits must first sound their horn to warn the horses of their arrival. If you're out in the lake in a motorboat, no shooting rabbits, that's illegal. And of some concern is the fact that the installation of bathtubs in Topeka is still prohibited. But hey, it's a lot more fun to jump into the swimming pool. Did you love balloons as a child? If so, you might have Kansas to thank. KU researchers discovered helium in the state shortly after the turn of the century. Who knows, Kent Couch of Oregon may have Kansas to thank for the fact that he was able to fly 193 miles in the lawn chair that he attached hundreds of balloons to. Sadly, he did not make it to the wonderful state of Kansas. If he had, he would have found that unlike Oregonians, we Kansans have our recreational feet firmly on the ground. And we have the t-shirt to prove it. New York, Texas, California, all you big states, you like to make fun of Kansas and call us flyover country. But we have lots of fun things to come and see too if you just come and visit. You would see all our prairie chickens. We have the largest population. We also have lots of prairie dogs. We have the largest ball of twine with a 38-foot circumference and weighing almost 17,000 pounds. If you visit Cocker City, you can add to it. Coffeyville once had a hailstone fall on it that weighed more than 1.5 pounds. There's a grain elevator in Hutchinson that's 1/2 mile long and holds 46 million bushels of grain. We're very kind to animals. At Kansas State's vet school, if a horse needs surgery, he's going to be placed in a waterbed. And Goodland proudly boasts the world's largest easel. Sitting atop the 80-foot, 40,000-pound steel easel is a giant replica of Vincent van Gogh's sunflower painting. Now, I think that's pretty cool. I love Kansas because we know how to laugh at ourselves, and we really don't take things too seriously. We have breathtaking sunsets, friendly people, and really nice highways. As a matter of fact, we rank 4th in miles of public roads, while we're only 32nd in population. We're humble and we don't brag too much. If we were to brag, though, we would want people to know that Kansas ranks higher than New York, California, Texas, and most other states in many measurements of quality of life, education, and health. We have wonderful universities and school systems and a more highly educated population than most other states. As a matter of fact, K-State produces more Rhodes, Marshall, Truman, Goldwater, and Udall scholars than any other public institution. It's among the top 10 nationally among both public and private universities for outstanding teaching as measured by the Carnegie Foundation with the Case Awards. KU is no slouch either. They have many top-tier academic programs. Ironically, public administration and city planning being one, and this is from a state that's 90% agricultural rural. KU is also home to one of the first Confucius Centers in the United States and developed programs so that elementary children across Kansas can learn Mandarin Chinese. Fully a third of KU students participate in study abroad. This past year, Kansas was ranked first in high-tech job growth among the 50 states. I think that's because many people are buying Garmin GPSs because they're just having trouble finding their way around. Kansas exports reached almost $12.5 billion. We're the second fastest growing export state in the nation. Kansas ranks number 1 in private aircraft production. The odds are that you've flown on a plane that was made in the state of Kansas. Fully half the planes that fly worldwide are made in this state. Literally, Kansas feeds the world. We're ranked number 1 in both wheat and sorghum production, and 6 loaves of bread could be made for each person in the world annually based on our wheat production. Of course, we're also a major beef producer, and there's just nothing like a good Kansas City strip. We're also keeping the world safe. We're home to Fort Leavenworth's Command and General Staff College, where military leadership, as well as international officers from around the world, are trained. Over 200 heads of state or heads of military in various countries have spent a year in Kansas at that school. I'm thinking things in the world might be worse if they hadn't made friends while they were in Kansas. Robert Gates is from Kansas. The nation's new biodefense lab is being built in Kansas. We're keeping everyone safe, but we know that some people lean somewhat left and maybe are not so interested in the military, but we're okay with that too. You'd love Lawrence. We're the free state and committed to William Allen White's ideals of a free press. So you're welcome to say, write, and believe any wacko thing you want while you're in Kansas. Let's end with a few more pictures of my beloved state. This includes a painting of University of Kansas by my favorite local artist, Mike Savage. And there's a picture of the outside of Fritz's restaurant, my favorite childhood restaurant. Trains run along the ceiling and bring food to the table. It's still operating and a great place to eat. I would recommend the gin there. Go Cyclones! This lists my sources and references and my thanks. I'd especially like to thank my sons Andrew and John, who will not believe that Mom produced this and managed to upload it to YouTube. I've been telling them for years that they can do any darn thing they want if they're willing to work and set their minds to it. And I think I've proved the point here for myself. So now I'm going to ask, boys, will you be my Facebook friends? Nah, I didn't think so.